Hello, ladies. Oh, it's another group of all ladies. I love it. Girl power. Yay. So we are going to do a study session. Yay. And I love study sessions because we just never know where we're going to end up. We might start in one place and end up in another, but that is okay because our goal today is to learn. And of course, with me, it's always to have a little bit of fun, maybe a laugh or two. So what we're going to be doing today is a little vocab connecting, vocabulary connecting. So you see on your screen, there are different pairs of words, and you can't see them all, but there are a total of 75 pairs. What you all are going to do when it's your turn is choose a number that is not visible on your screen. So right now, you all can see 1 through 7. I would say choose a number between 8 and 75. I will go to that number, and whatever that number is, you're going to give me a little vocab. So you'll give me the definitions of both vocab words, and then we're going to talk about how they are connected. Sometimes the connection is really obvious. Like you can see number 3, 43, 560, and 5,280. Those are both numbers having to do with measurements. I mean, that connection's pretty easy. And because I said that, I should probably say 43,560 is the number of square feet in a mile. I'm sorry, so square feet in an acre. I can say that right. Square feet in an acre. And then 5,280 or 5 tomatoes is the number of feet in a mile. But that connection is pretty clear. So now you all can choose between 1 and 75 except 3. All right, any questions on how that's going to work? Otherwise, remember, there are no truly wrong answers. They're just the not quite correct yet. And let's go with what you know. If you don't know something, it's perfectly fine to say, I don't know. And even if it's not your turn, and you're like, hey, could you go in a little deeper on that? Let me know that too, because again, the goal is to learn. So eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Yeah, let's go with you because I think your first name starts with a Y and that would be last in the alphabet. So you go first, my darling. Please choose a number between 8 and 75.
21.
21. Good number. All right. And sorry, you all have my terrible handwriting. The first word that you have is sections as it relates to a township. Sections as it relates to a township. And the second word is monument. So tell me, what do you know, if anything, about sections?
There is 36 sections in a township.
Yes, there's 36 sections in a township. I don't have oh my God, wait a minute. You know what I haven't done for anybody else? And I need to do it for you, Yaya, because that was amazing. Look, now that I have that up, I can be like, y'all can hear that, right? Right? You can hear that?
No.
Y'all can't hear the sound effects?
No.
Oh, that's so wrong. Oh, I got to get my computer to work so that you all can hear the sound effects too. Why? Well, I did this. I did the sound effects over here. I don't know what to tell you. I could hear it. I don't know. So darn. We'll work on that. Now I'm going to have to do another free session where y'all can hear the sound effects. We'll see. All right. So yes, that is 36 sections in a township because we know a township is 6 miles by 6 miles. And then the sections are 1 mile by 1 mile. And we know those are numbered all weird. They don't go from left to right. They go from right to left to start. We all know that, yes? Sound familiar? Good. Great. What do you know about monuments?
Monuments. Monument is related to to the appraisals.
Okay, how so?
I have the word on the top of my tongue, but I can't remember it. There are 3 ways of how the appraisers
appraise, come up with value. I know what you're trying to say. I think you were going down the wrong path. I think we're thinking of a different word. I thought maybe you were connecting it to what a monument is when you talked about appraisals, but
No,
No,
not there.
not there. You call. I like where. I mean, I like the fact that you were thinking. I like that. Can anybody tell me about monuments? What if I said it had something to do with meets and bounds?
Yes.
I want to say Mount Everest.
I want to say Mount Everest. Well, yes, that is a monument. It's okay. Yes, but
I
then
mean that because the monument is like the landmark of where like they would say where it was. So they would say
yes.
gas station. Okay. Okay.
So it has to do with meets and bounds. Everybody knows what the meets and bounds is. Yes. Meets and bounds is where they're describing the land, and you start at that point of beginning. So in a meets and bounds description, the surveyor is going out and saying, I'm going to describe the perimeter of the property. I start at one point of beginning, which would have a monument, it'd have a marker, and then they're going to go a certain distance and direction, and they're going to know how far, when to stop, and then there'll be another monument, a little marker. Sometimes there are metal stakes in the ground. Have y'all ever seen when people get surveys done and you'll see those wooden stakes with the flag? Sometimes those are kind of showing where the property lines are, things like that. So those are monuments. When you get to the end, it's part of the boundaries of a meets and bounds description. Good job, Sierra. Nice. So now that we know what both of these are, how are sections and monuments related? How are they
They're
related?
both forms of the describing the land.
Yes, look at you. I don't have any sound effects. Yay. Yes, it is both ways of describing how where land is. So we know meets and bounds with the monuments is going to be usually older plots of land pieces that were not part of the government rectangular survey system. And we know sections and townships that is part of the government rectangular survey system. Yeah. All right, Sierra, you were so great in answering those questions. She's like, oh, this is how I get rewarded. Please choose a number, something that is not between 17 and 25, up to 75, ma'am.
Let's do 40.
40. Ooh, material, fact, and puffing.
Okay. So I know puffing is when you are exaggerating.
Can you give me an example?
So if I was like, you have, dang it. Puffing is like exaggerating about the house. So if I'm saying over exaggerating in like the listing, like if I'm listing a house and saying that I don't know. I just know it's exaggerating.
I'll help you. So an exaggeration would be, this is the best view in all of New York City.
Oh yeah.
Okay, like it's
An
an
opinionated.
opinion. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Best, this is going to be the best floor plan in the city. That's an opinion. But
Mm-hmm.
saying that you have the largest house in the city and you are not actually the largest house in the city would be misrepresentation.
Okay.
So that's puffing. What do you know about a material fact?
And then material fact, I want to say is something that is like this, like non-disclosed in the house, like something that if I think I'm thinking of it correctly, it's something in the, oh dang it, just tell me, because like I could see it in my head. I feel like
Anybody want to help her with the material fact?
Yes, I can help her.
Go for it.
It's a fact that you must disclose when you see in the property. It doesn't matter if you think or not that should I tell, should I disclose? It's just something. If you see there are like on the walls, if you see like where it was, maybe it rained and you see like stains, you must disclose.
yes,
Exactly.
okay, thank you. That's what I was thinking of, but I didn't know how to say it.
That's right. That is why we do a team effort here. You're exactly right. Yeah. It is that idea that it's information about the property that would influence one of the principal's decisions, something that you don't get to choose whether or not you're going to tell somebody. You have to tell it. Like if there's water stains from water damage on the walls, if you see there's a problem with the foundation, if you know the property floods, those are the kind of facts that are material. Doesn't matter if you're a buyer's agent, doesn't matter if you're a seller's agent. If you know these things, you must share with the buyer and the seller. We're good on that, yes? So how are they connected?
They're both things that you would need. Well, so like I guess one, like the puffing is exaggerating, and then the material fact is something that you have to disclose. So they're both something that you have to be truthful and honest and direct about.
Yeah, they're both things that you have to talk about, and well, you don't have to talk about. They're both about talking. You, in order to do puffing, even if it's in writing, you're saying something, you're making a statement, but you're exaggerating. You can't lie. And then when it comes to material facts, you can't lie. So that's the connection there. Good job. Good job. All right, let's pick on Alicia. Why not? Alicia's like, what? Huh? Where'd that come from? Please, my darling, choose something between 1 and 75 that is not 37 to 45.
Let's go to 55.
55. All right. 55 is on the newer side.
Oh, gosh.
Okay. Alienation of title and title insurance.
Oh, God.
It's okay. You got this, girl. You got this. What's alienation of title? It's not bad. Well, do you know title or alienation?
Alienation, I want to say, is when you like walk away, or maybe not walk away, but yeah, walk away.
Well, yeah, you're on the right path. You walk away, you're not there
You
anymore.
abandon basically the property. So, well, yeah, but in this case, is it the title?
Yeah, I mean, I love the way you're putting that together. You're not like exactly spot on, but you would be there enough if you had to guess. So to alienate yourself from a property or even a person means you're separating yourself from. Like a divorce is a type of alienation. Like you've alienated my affections. You're walking away from, you're not part of that thing anymore. So to alienate yourself from title, well, what does title mean?
That is oh gosh. Listen, I haven't studied in a while. I'm just getting back to it. Okay.
That's okay. It's a word that starts with O and rhymes with ownership. What word
ownership?
could it? Wow, you're so good at guessing, Alicia. Yeah. Ownership. Yes. Title has to do with ownership. So to alienate yourself from the title or alienation of title means you are giving away or you're losing, however you want to put it, you're alienating yourself from the ownership.
Okay.
So if you give somebody a property, you give them a deed, you've alienated yourself from the title. Okay. If you lose a house in foreclosure, you've been alienated from the title, like you're losing title. If somebody steals it through adverse possession, then your title has been alienated from you, I guess is a good way. Now, I'm going to do this, and I don't normally do this, but I'm going to do it to somebody. Alexis, can you please tell us what adverse possession is? Because we talked about it in the last one, guys. So I'm going to see if she can put it in her own words. Alexis is like, gosh darn it. Wait, you got to put your mic near your face again.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Okay, so I'm just looking over the notes that I took. Give me just a second.
You're fine. I know I put you on the spot, but does that make sense for alienation of title, guys? In fact, bonus points, we know that there's a clause, the alienation clause, in a promissory note. Y'all know what I'm talking about? There's the alienation clause in the promissory note that says, hey, if you alienate yourself from the title, we're calling due and payable all of those principal payments in the future. You give the title away. It's no longer your house. All right, go for it, Alexis. What you got?
Okay. The notes that I took, I wrote down allows a person to claim the title to another person's land.
Yes, that is adverse possession. Good job. You have to prove ocean, that your use was open, continuous, exclusive, adverse, and notorious. For a moment there, I couldn't spell ocean. All right. So that's one of your, if you're using acronyms or mnemonic devices, you want to remember ocean. So that is alienation of title and adverse a way that can happen. That would be involuntary alienation. Miss Alicia, what can you tell me about title insurance?
Is title insurance making sure that you are getting a clean title?
It is a way that the buyer can make sure that they're getting good title, but what is it? Like if you had to explain title insurance to a 12-year-old, how would you explain it? Like, what is it really? Is it a box of bananas in a box? Like, or what is it? Can anybody help her?
I'm going to take a guess because
Go
I'm not
for it. We
100%.
like guesses.
But I would say the title insurance is to prove your ownership, that nobody else can come and say that like they hold the title, like it's proof of ownership.
Close. I mean, you would probably say that the deed is the best proof
Yeah.
of ownership, but you're not like far off. So title insurance, first and foremost, is an insurance policy. Guys, what does an insurance policy do in general? If you're getting insurance, what does that mean? Go for it, Yaya.
Covers you. Oh,
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
It will protect lender and the owner, the buyer.
Mm-hmm. It is, because it's an insurance policy. You're great. Exactly. What were you going to say, Alicia?
I was going to say it covers you in case I don't know now.
Well, it covers the buyer and the lender. And Alexis, I saw your hand go up. Did you want to add something to that?
No, I was gonna say what she said.
Wait, sorry, hold on 1 second. Alexa, stop.
Oh, she
Ma'am, I'm just gonna call you Miss Simpson because we got nosy Exa over here.
okay,
trying to answer the question for y'all.
I was just saying that I was gonna say what she said.
Okay. So, well, good. It means you all are on the right path. It's an insurance policy. And doesn't insurance pay for something when it pays for the coverage or something? Health insurance is for when you're sick and then it covers your medical bills, right? Car insurance is just in case something happens to your car, you're in an accident, it covers those bills. Well, title insurance is about making sure you get good title. Yes, when you buy a house, most of us in most states are getting a warranty deed or general warranty deed. But what happens if 3 months later somebody knocks on your door and is like, this is my house. I never signed a general warranty deed. You need to get out. Now, first and foremost, call an attorney. Do not try to beat that person up. But if you end up losing title, it turns out, oh my gosh, your title company messed up and there was an owner who never signed off on it. That title company is ensuring the quality of your title. If you literally lost title to your property, the insurance policy is going to give you back what you paid for the property. So if you bought the house for $425 and now you lose ownership, title insurance is going to write you a check for $425. Now, Yaya, you said something really good about that. You said there was the buyer's policy and there's a lender's policy. Because unless you're rich, I mean, maybe y'all are, if that is the case, are you single? But unless you're rich, you probably bought that $425 house, but maybe you put $100,000 down. So you actually borrowed $325. That title insurance policy is actually two policies. One is to cover your equity in the house, and the other is going to be the check written for the $325 to the bank, right? Because that's the bank's money in the house. So title insurance is an actual insurance policy that covers both the buyer and the lender if there is a loss of title. How does that feel? Good. Now, can anybody tell me how they're related? I mean, it's in the name. How is alienation of title and Title insurance.
Title.
There we go. Look, I want very good, Saritha. I wasn't trying to go for any gold points on that one. They both have to do with title. Now, if you want to be specific, you could say, hey, if you are alienated from your title and it was involuntary, there are times when title insurance might kick in, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Look, all right. And Sarithia, no good deed goes unpunished. Guess whose turn it is to pick a number.
Can I get 36 or did we pass it already?
36 was done, I think, in 3 other videos. I think it's been done in all the other videos. What is it with 36? I think a lot of people like that number.
What number can I go up to?
75.
70.
70. All right. Going the wrong way. I know how to count. Ooh, HO3s or DPs, 3s, and a conventional mortgage. An HO3 or a DP, 3, and conventional mortgage.
Okay, the first one doesn't ring a bell. I don't know, but conventional mortgage, basically that's like a mortgage where you put a nice down payment down. It's not like an FHA loan or anything, but it's more of you have a big down payment but a lower interest rate.
Yes, I'm going to say the lower interest rate could be, it doesn't necessarily have to anything to do with the lower interest rate, but I do want to talk about that down payment. So you are right. And I will say this, and you gave an answer that is correct. And it's the answer that I get a lot with people. A lot of times people will tell me about a conventional mortgage, but they can't really tell me what it is. So you are on par, and that's in a good way, because some people just would be like, oh, I don't even know what a conventional mortgage is. But it tells me what are the characteristics, but why? So the reason a conventional mortgage is not like an FHA mortgage, because the definition of a conventional mortgage is it's a loan that the bank makes that is not guaranteed or insured by the government.
Right. Excuse me.
That's it. So if you knew that, yay, that is why it's different.
I want to say it because I have a conventional loan. I recently, a year ago, bought my first house. So that's the type of loan I have. So this was based on what I had to do.
So what does that mean for the bank? The fact that you have a conventional loan, what does that mean for the bank if you had to be foreclosed upon?
That means that they can put a lien, or am I going too far? No.
Well, let me tell you, this whole finance stuff is kind of, it's a lot. Can we all admit the finance chapter is a lot?
Right.
So let me break it down like this.
Okay.
When you bought your house, what state are you in?
Ohio.
Do you know if you're mortgage, are you title theory or lien theory? Do you know?
No.
Well, hold up. Let me look it up real quick. Let me use the power of Google.
Okay.
Very quickly. Is Ohio a title? Yes, I'm using my other screen. Theory state. According to the Googles, you all are a lien theory state. Okay. Do you know what that means?
Meaning they can file a lien against me or my property if I or no, am I thinking of something else?
It doesn't mean that they can, it means that they do.
Okay.
Because you are a lien theory state, your house is your house. It's in your name.
Right.
If you were in a title theory state, owning your house would be like having a car and having a car loan. You know, if you have a car loan, that's not your car, that's the bank's car until you pay it off. And title theory states that is a true statement. You're in a lien theory state if Google is correct. And that means your house is in your name. Your bank just has a lien on it.
Okay.
So if you stop paying, they have to wait and then take you to court and then ask the court to allow them to sell your house at foreclosure so they can get their money.
Right. Okay.
Versus a title theory state, since the house belongs to the bank, tell the trustee, and then the trustee can sell your house.
Okay.
So having said all of that, if you get foreclosed upon and they don't get all of the money from your foreclosure sale, so you sell it for $350, but you owe the bank $400, they can't go to the government to make up some of that loss. In a government loan, FHA is providing mortgage insurance to the bank. If it's a VA loan, the government is providing a guarantee. Hey, bank, don't worry about it. We'll cover anything. There's no losses here for you up to a certain amount. A conventional loan means the government, if the bank loses money off of you, the government's like, my name is Bennett and I ain't in it.
Right.
That's between you and Sarethia. So that is the definition of a conventional mortgage. That is why they want you to put more money down.
Right.
That is why they use, that 2836 qualifications for everything. So good job.
Okay. Yeah, the HO3DP, I have no idea. I don't know. Maybe I'm just over. I don't know. Is it an abbreviation for something?
It kind of sort of is. Alexis, do you know what it is?
I didn't hear. I just came back to the computer, but I was trying to ask, was it 30% down or something else? But I didn't hear the first question you asked.
For a conventional mortgage?
Yes.
Usually you're going to have to put down at least 20%. And if you don't, you'll have to pay. Anybody? If you don't put at least 20% down, go for it. Yeah.
You have to private mortgage insurance.
Private mortgage insurance. Very good. Nice job. So HO3, homeowners, it's homeowners insurance.
Okay.
It's the number for the policy. Some states call them dwelling policies. Some states call them HO for homeowners insurance, or I'm assuming that's what it stands for. But it's a policy. And HO3s are they're the most popular type. It's like broad risk, I think is what it stands for, coverage. But if you buy a house, you probably have an HO3 policy. And they vary by number. If you're buying a condo, you're probably getting an HO6 policy. You're getting renter's insurance, it's probably an HO4 policy. So there's different types of insurance policies, but HO3 is the most popular. Now, I'll tell y'all, I don't know too many states that goes into a lot of detail. I usually tell my students, you should recognize it, HO3 or DP3, interchangeable for the most part, because we're not insurance professionals. I'm sure if this was an insurance test, we'd be talking differently. But you should recognize it. Oh, that's a type of homeowners insurance policy. HO3 being the most popular. The other one I would tell you to know is HO6 for condominium insurance and HO4 for renters insurance. So how could these possibly be connected? I'm talking about homeowners policies and conventional mortgages. If you're getting a conventional mortgage, what are they going to require you to have? I saw Alicia. Yep. She was like a homeowner's insurance policy, because we know when you pay a mortgage payment, you pay that P&I, but you also pay the T&I, the taxes and insurance, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. Most mortgages are going to make you pay monthly, but those 1/12 of the insurance bill. So when the next one comes up, they have the money to pay it for you. Make sense? All right. Jocelyn, have we picked on you for a number yet?
No, you have not.
Well, that's what you get for having pretty hair. So now you get to choose a number not between 69 and 75. So 1 through 68.
I'll do 27.
27. You know what? I'm going to say no to 27 because we just did it in the last one. And not that I don't want you to know what a mill or a factor is, but I think it was a really good explanation. I don't know if you think, Alexis. But we did a good long explanation on it. So will you pick another number besides 27? You could even go with 26 or 28. I won't force you to not go to the screen.
I'll do 19.
19. Hey. Ooh, short rate and foreclosure. Short rate and foreclosure. What you got?
Okay, so I know for foreclosure, it happens after you have defaulted on your mortgage for 90 days. And short rate, I'm really not sure, so I would be guessing.
Ooh, Yaya knows. Yaya knows. Go ahead and help her, Yaya.
I'm sorry, but I just wanted to ask, actually, is it short sale or short rate? To me, it looks like short sale. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh, it does say short sale. Short
Oh,
rate is
okay.
something different. Okay, so let's do short rate and we'll do short sale and we'll put them all together. That's what happens when I can't read. Thank you, Yaya, for telling me I can't read. Okay. So can you tell me what a short sale or a short rate is?
I'm gonna say a short sale. Is it kind of like the what is it called, quiet title or something like that, where you just like trying to hurry up and sell the property?
You're kind of close. You're kind of there and there. So let's talk about short sale since that's what it says. And then we'll get into short rate. So a short sale is often mixed up with a people think it seems to have something to do with foreclosures, which it does, but not in the way they think. A short sale is when you owe more money than the house is worth and you need the permission of the bank to sell your house. You're going to be short on funds. So if you owe the bank $350, but you can only sell it for $300, you're short. It's a short sale. It doesn't mean that you're behind on your payments. Like sometimes people see, oh, it's a short sale. Oh, this person didn't pay. No, that's not what it means. You've been paying your mortgage. You're up to date, but you may only be able to get 300 when you owe 325. So if you don't have $25,000 in the bank to make things right, it would be a short sale. And in many, many states, this is a material fact. Because if I want to buy your house for less than what you owe the bank, all of a sudden the bank has to be part of the we accept your offer or we don't accept your offer. And we all can imagine once you get the bank involved, does it take things just a little bit longer to get things done? It's not just up to you to decide whether or not you want to sell me the house. So material fact, that would be a short sale. And I think that becomes clear how it's related to foreclosure. It's not a foreclosure. Foreclosure is because you didn't pay usually. There are other reasons people get foreclosed on, but usually because they didn't pay. Whereas a short rate, somebody is selling and they just happen to be short on the funds. Short sale. The short rate, I don't know why I have short rate in my head today. Short rate has to do with insurance. That's probably why I said it after the insurance question. Short rate is going to be, sometimes people will use it to talk about the charge. Like if you get an insurance policy for less than a year, they'll call it a short rate charge, or they'll charge you a fee for anything like that. So it's usually a fee that you pay because you don't have it for a year. You didn't get the insurance for less than 1 year. Does that make sense? Or you didn't get the insurance for more than 1 year. You got it for less than a year. That is short rate. And I saw short rate because we were just coming off of insurance. That makes sense to everybody? And thank you, Yaya, for pointing out that I can't read. But to tie it into a learning moment, don't do that on your test, guys. If that was a test question, would I have totally gotten it wrong because I saw what I wanted to see? I saw short rate and it really said short sale. Now, in defense, my own handwriting does suck. But I do that too on practice exams where I see what I want to see. You think they're asking you about one thing, and it really, the question, can anybody in here say they have never taken a practice question and then it turned out they read it wrong?
Me. And I get so mad because when it pops up that it's wrong, I'm like, I knew what that was.
And it happens. So I mean, I'm not saying I'm the end all be all of knowing it, but guys, it's my own writing for my own question, and I still read it wrong. So don't be like me. Be like Yaya and read the question right. That should be a t-shirt. Don't be like Candace. Be like Yaya. Just be like Yaya. Although I think Michael Jordan took it first with be like Mike. All right. Let's see. Who hasn't picked a number yet? Sarithia, have you picked a number yet?
Yeah, I had number 70.
Oh, that's right. Sierra, you picked a number. Jocelyn, you picked a number. Alicia, you picked a number. Yaya, you picked a number? Well, Alexis, you haven't picked a number for this round, have you? Oh, we can't hear you. Put your mic back to your face again.
Oh, sorry.
There you
I
go.
was eating, so I had
That's
to move
okay.
it.
Wait a minute. Most important question. What are you eating for dinner? Because why didn't you bring the rest of us some?
Sorry, guys.
She don't sound sorry. I don't know about y'all, but she ain't sounding real sorry. Like, oh, y'all are starving this Friday night. It's okay. I got pizza waiting for me.
So that was actually just like a little appetizer. I had pot stickers, but I'm baking some fish and I'm gonna eat it with rice.
Party at Alexis's house. Just shoot us your since nobody else can see it, just shoot us your address in the driveway in the chat. We'll be pulling up in
sure
your
will.
driveway. Some of us in 24 hours, some of us in 20 minutes, depending. I don't know. But go ahead. If you would like to, you can choose a number since I know you're eating, or you could pass it off to one of your lovely lady friends in here.
Do I get to pick who picks a number or
You can. Now remember, you don't want to make enemies, but yes, you can.
I'm going to go with Yaya.
Yaya, pick a
Seems
number.
like she knows a lot.
Okay.
No, believe me, I don't. I'm gonna pick number 53, but I'm gonna tell you why I'm picking that number.
Okay,
Because
53.
yes, 53.
Okay.
I'm picking that number because I've been struggling a lot with one of the terms.
Okay. All right. I will go with that. Oh, okay. 53. That would be wrong way. Wrong way, guys. Boom. I'm going to figure out my own system. Sorry if I made you seasick. Yield and points.
Oh, I'm so sorry. You know what? Actually, I take that back. It was 54.
Okay. Pour V and an estate at sufferance. Okay. So we're going to do both. We're going to do the pour V and the estate at sufferance, and we're going to do yield and points. So you save somebody a number choosing. So since you're struggling with number 54, which one is it you're struggling with? Which word? Both or one of them?
No, the pour V. Estate at sufferance. I have the idea of what it is.
Tell me what it is.
It's a state of a leasehold estate where the tenant stays after the lease has expired.
Perfect. It's an estate where the tenant had the right to be there up until a certain point, and now they won't leave. All right. Perfect. Now, before you tell me what you think a pour V estate is, Alexis, was that a question, or do you know the answer?
Sorry, my mouse is acting crazy, but neither.
Oh,
That
okay.
must have been from last time.
She just wanted to be like, hey guys. All right. So Yaya, tell me, what do you think you kind of maybe know about pour V estates? Because there's a good chance you probably know some of it.
Okay, pour V has to do with the life state.
Yes.
Okay, and it is confusing to me the difference between the remainder man and the pour V. That's where, you know, every time that I'm practicing, you know, the test on prep agent, I get those questions wrong because I'm struggling with that.
So I think of it, and I'm going to draw this out. Lord, help us all, because I'm going to draw. So you have the duration. If I could get my mouse to work here. There we go. I don't like that color. So you have a life estate. And by definition, that means it's for a lifetime. Right? It was never going to be permanent. When somebody dies, then this ends. That's the definition of a life estate. It's ownership for a lifetime. In a regular old life estate, it's ownership for the owner's lifetime. So the life estate, if I give you a life estate, and I give you a plain old life estate, then you have it from this date until you die. Or I could give you, so pink is I could give you a life estate as long as, sorry, Jocelyn. Jocelyn's alive. I'm just going to shorten your name there. Now, Jalen, you're welcome. So if I do that, you have ownership as long as she's alive. And when Jocelyn dies, then it's over. Does that make sense? Jocelyn is going to be what we call the measuring life. You are what we call the life tenant. So that all makes sense, correct? So when we talk about pour attrivie, what makes it pour attrivie is that the measuring life and the life tenant are not the same. Pour attrivie means for the life of another. During the term of the life tenancy, there's another person involved. If I give you a pour attrivie life estate, it's not about how long you live. It's about how long Jocelyn lives. So I hate to do it to you, but if you die, if you die right here, guess what? Your heirs are going to own it until Jocelyn dies. Does that make sense? Does that make sense to everybody about a pour attrivie and versus a regular life estate? Alicia, you giving me that look. You good?
Yes, I get it.
Good. So, okay, all of this was about when Jocelyn dies. Here's my question, y'all. What happens to it after? After Jocelyn dies, or even after Yaya dies, if it's a regular life estate, that's where the remainder man comes in. The remainder man is after the important death. After the measuring life dies, you got two options. It could go back to Candace, because I started it. I was the original owner. I gave it to you, Yaya, either as long as you're alive for regular life estate, or as long as Jocelyn's alive for a pour attrivie life estate. But the question becomes, what happens when the measuring life dies? Either it reverts back to me, a reversionary interest, or I could be like, oh, you know what? It's going to Sierra. Where's Sierra come from? I don't know. She came out of the blue. She's that. You ever hear that saying, this is an ABC conversation, you need to see your way out of it? They're like, she wasn't part of the life estate. This is a A-B life estate. Sierra had nothing to do with the life estate. And then here comes Sierra after Jocelyn dies and is like, oh, it's going to go to me instead of coming back to Candace. Where the freak did Sierra come from? We don't know. We don't care. But when you have this new random person who will become the owner after the life tenant dies, they are the remainder man. They have a remainder interest. So pour attrivie talks about what's happening during the life estate. Whose life is it for? Remainder man talks about after that measuring life dies, Who's it going to? If it's going to a remainder man, it's random. There's Sierra coming out of no place. Or it could revert back to the original owner. How does that feel? Feels good? Yeah. Does that kind of help? Yay! All right, so that was how they relate, estate, suffering, poetry via estate. They're both estates. And guys, remember, estate simply means that you have the right to live there. If it's a freehold estate, you own it. That's why you get to live there. If it's a non-freehold estate, it means that you didn't own it, you were leasing it. So last one is 53, yield and points. Anybody got anything on yield and points?
Would points be the same as the discount points from the lender?
Discount points are a type of points, yes. So tell me what you know about discount points.
I know that the lender adds discount points to the sale price of the property.
Well, not to the sales price, but to the loan. So I'm going to clear up some space here and choose another color because I can't. Why do banks make loans, guys? Because they're pretty? Because we're pretty? Why do they make loans?
To make money off
With the
of
interest.
Yep, to make money. Right. Now, the money they make. Side note, let's take a little trip. Has everybody in here made brownies or cookies before? And you know, when you make brownies or cookies, isn't there always a yield? This yields 2 dozen cookies. This yields 18 cookies. This yields 36 brownies. So everybody's seen this wording on the box, correct? If I was 6 and I was like, hey, Mom, what does this mean it yields 2 dozen? Wouldn't you tell me that means it's what you're getting out of it? So banks make money, and that money is considered their yield. That's money that they're making. Right? Now, a couple of things will happen sometimes. One is that banks, they run out of money. You do realize that banks borrow money to make mortgages, guys? So a bank has, let's say Bank of America is like, oh crap, we don't have any more people with money in the bank. We need to borrow some money. Bank of America can take they can take loans out from other banks. They can take loans out from the Federal Reserve, but they borrow money. But let's say Bank of America borrows, and I'm making up numbers, $30 million. Is the bank that Bank of America borrows from going to give it to them for free? No. They're going to borrow $30 million at 2.5% interest, which means whoever they borrow the money from, when they pay back the other bank, they owe them 2.5% interest. All right, well, if Bank of America gets $30 million and they start making some loans, what happens if they charge Alexis 2.5% interest? What did Bank of America not make? Money. Do we all see this? Yes. So what they would do is they would say, hey, Alexis, we're going to give you a loan, not at 2.5%, but at 3.25%. Because what are they going to do? 3.25 minus 2.5. What is that? 0.75? Those, they have to charge. They've got to make sure that they're charging something extra. Does that make sense to everybody? Yes? Right. We understand this story because you're going to need the story for a second. Bank of America borrowed at 2.5%, but here comes Alexis, and they really need to charge Alexis 3.25%. Now, Alexis, go ahead and unmute because I'm going to need you to answer this question. You went to Bank of America and they offered you 3.25%. Wells Fargo down the street offered you 2.5%. Please tell me where you were going to get this loan. Bank of America at 3.25 or Wells Fargo at 2.5. Do not overthink the answer.
I would say Bank of America.
For the higher interest rate?
But I thought you said that they had to make money to.
Nope. See, overthinking it. We don't care about if the bank makes money. Who are you as a person going to?
Oh, okay. I would go to Wells Fargo then.
Exactly. Ding, ding, ding. So how is Bank of America going to make money if nobody wants to come to them? Everybody with me? What they would say is, hey, Alexis, we offer loans too. We have 2.5% loans as well, but we're going to charge you some points. Points are prepaid interest. Points are prepaid interest. Instead of saying outright, we're going to charge Alexis 3.25%, they say, we're going to charge Alexis 2.5% plus she's going to pay some points. Points are prepaid interest, so they can increase their loan yield. Did that sentence just make sense? In this case, the bank is charging points in order to increase their loan yield so that they can pay back whoever they borrow the money from. So let me stop right there. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Now, here's where it gets confusing, but just it's the wording. One of the things Jocelyn said earlier was discount points. And guys, points are points. Points are points. Has everybody ever gone to like a state fair or like a carnival, and then especially if y'all have kids or someplace like that, and you buy tickets to get on a ride? So if you buy tickets, it might take 5 tickets to get on the Ferris wheel, but 4 tickets to take the tilt-a-whirl. But you can use the tickets for whatever you want. Points are the tickets of the banking world. Sometimes you pay points because the bank needs a yield. Sometimes you pay points because you would like to lower your interest rate. Sometimes you pay points because the bank wants to charge an origination fee. Points are a currency in the banking world. You can pay points to do different things. Sometimes you pay points to discount your loan. I don't want 2.5. I want 2.25. Great, pay some points. The bank wants to have you get a loan at a lower rate. Great, pay some points. Do we all get that points are the currency of the banking world now? So discount points are when you pay them to lower your interest rate. If you're talking about points in general for yields, sometimes they pay it to cover their losses. They're just things that you pay. No matter what, though, 1 point always costs the consumer 1/8. I said cost. It will always cost the consumer 1% of the loan amount. So if they're telling you you have to pay 2 points, you owe them 2% of the loan amount. If you're paying 3 points, you owe them 3% of the loan amount. Does that make sense to everybody? Yes? If they are discount points, they're moving your loan 0.125. For every point that you pay, you move your loan basically, usually it's going to be down, but you're moving your interest rate 0.125. Y'all do me a favor, add 0.125 plus 0.125. What do you get?
0.25.
0.25. Is that a quarter?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a quarter.
It's 1/4%. So guys, this is 1 point, this is 1 point, this is a total of 2 points. So if they offer you a loan at 3.5 and you're like, no, what I really want is 3.25. In order to get there, you had to pay a point, and then you had to pay another point. So if you pay 2 points, they'll now give you this loan at 3.25%. Does that make sense to everybody? Every point that you pay, if you're using it to discount your loan, your interest rate, every point you pay moves your interest rate 1/8%. But either way, 1 point will cost you 1%. So this would cost you 2%. That was a lot. I know it was a lot. But without it being a math class, how do we feel about points? Most importantly, do we feel like we understand that a point is the currency of the banking world? Does that now make sense to everybody when I say that?
Yes.
Yay. And now go ahead.
I just want to ask to make sure I'm not tripping. So like you have the percentage or whatever. So you add the percentage to the total of the loan, right? For their discount points.
Well, let me kind of clarify that because we just did a lot. If you went to the bank today, you could maybe, and I'm making things up, you could maybe get a loan at 5.75%. If you had gone, this is today, if you had gone last month, you might have gotten a loan at 5.25%. Maybe you don't want 5.75%. You would pay discount points to move it down to where you wanted it to be. Does that make sense? A discount point lowers it. Well, how many points would you have to take? Well, 1 point is equal to 0.125. So if I were to do this, 5.75 subtract 5.25, that's 0.5. That's the difference, right? If I want to know 0.5 divided by 0.125, well, that's 4. There are 4 0.125s. And if you don't believe me, 0.125 plus 0.125 plus 0.125 plus 0.125 equals 0.5. Does that make sense? So if you go to the bank and you say, hey, I really don't want that 5.75, you can say, okay, we'll give you the 5.25. You just need to pay 4 points. And here's what I hate about just people's lack of knowledge. Most of the time in America, unless you're driving and talking about your driving records, points are great. You play a game, you want more points. You're like, 4 points, that sounds awesome. 4 points, grab, thumb me up. 4 points doesn't sound like that much. It's just 4 points. But Sierra, let's say you were buying a house and getting a $325,000 loan. Would you please multiply that by 4% for me? What do y'all get when you do 325,000 times 4%?
13,000.
That's right. So if you would like that lower interest rate on top of your down payment, please bring us $13,000. Now, these numbers I'm talking about are exaggerations. I mean, I don't know why anybody would be paying 4 points like this. I mean, you could, but then you might as well, you could have just borrowed $13,000 less. Maybe that's going to pay you less. Like, this is where you get into people who love finance. But do we all also get where it sounds kind of confusing? If you are I'm going to tie it to something else. Y'all didn't even think about it. I know that you all learned about APR, annual percentage rates, and TILA, truth in lending. And you learn that truth in lending says you always have to give an APR, because now you all could understand it's one thing if a bank says, oh, I'm giving you 5.25% versus another bank saying, I'll give you 5% plus I need you to pay 6 points. what we just learned about points, would we all scratch our heads and go, you know what? I'm not quite sure I want to pay 6 points. Maybe I just want to go ahead and take that 5.25%. We all get this, yes? Which is why banks have to talk about APRs. Interest rates are just interest rates. APRs talk about the points and all the other fees so that you get a true rate of what it costs to do business. And that is why Truth in Lending requires APRs so people they can compare loan costs apples to apples and not apples to oranges. Boom. And with that, I'm giving myself a little pencil drop, Apple pen drop, because we just tied it to something else. But more importantly, does everybody see now why Truth in Lending and APR is important? Because of hidden costs like loan origination fee and points. And all of this started with points having to do with someplace on here, a yield. The bank can charge points to increase their yield because they want to make more money. Okay. That was a lot of finance, but how do you feel? Did I overwhelm you? Hopefully this was not overwhelming.
It made my head spin for a second, but you reeled it in.
Hey,
so I got it. Thank you.
It is. Finance does that at first. You're like, what, who, what? And then you got to go, oh. And what I would encourage you to do, Sierra, what I'll do is I'm going to send you all, it'll probably be tomorrow because I've got to let Zoom do its thing. And then I'm going to have to do a little editing. And then I'll put this on YouTube. So I'll send each and every one of you this link to this recording on the YouTube page. So Sierra, I would tell you, just watch this again. And you can fast forward to just the part where we're talking about this or whatever you need. Which occurs to me, what I probably need to do for all of these videos is go through and make a list of all the words that we cover in each video. But guys, that's going to be a sick day for Candace. That's going to be one of these days when I'm trying to avoid doing other work because that sounds like a lot of not fun. But, you know, it's something I might do. Any questions? Anything else I can answer? I know that went a little bit longer than an hour, but hopefully y'all found this helpful.
Yes, very.
Yes, thank you.
Oh,
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's been very helpful. And thank you for taking the time, for taking the effort. Thank you for being so passionate because I've been to most of your webinars like every week. So I really, really appreciate it.
Well, thank you. Look, I appreciate you all wanting to do this and allowing me to have your voices on YouTube. And what I've been telling everybody, and I'll say it in the webinars too, if these are helpful to have the extra ones on YouTube, then people just have to let me know. I don't mind doing it and putting it on YouTube. I just need to know that it's there. And then, you know, it gives, not everybody can afford one-on-one tutoring. I mean, it's great. And we can do a lot in a one-on-one tutoring, but if you have these to help you to study, you know, that means that's less stuff we have to do one-on-one so that you can get more out of our one-on-one. You know what I'm trying to say? I just want to help people. All right, that's enough good, nice vibes. Let me go kick a cat somewhere, get my meanness back in. Can't let y'all think I'm nice. Problem.
I have a question.
Yeah, go for it, Sarithia.
No, that's me.
No, I was just laughing at what you said. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, sorry, I couldn't say. Okay, well, whoever had the question, go for it.
About these words, because I did the class and everything. I just finished a refresher and I'm starting back studying. A lot of these words I did not hear about or see about last year. Where can I know they're probably on, but this list of words.
So I'm going to say it in two ways. This list of words were just ones that came up on the top of my head. Some of these are ones that I would tell you have to know for the test. Some of them are ones like there's a good chance you could be tested. And some of them you might never see, like DP3. It's a word I would expect. Like where I am in my state, we have insurance on the test. So it's one they should know. But if you got to say maybe got a 20% chance of it being on the test. So these words were just random words. Some really, really important. Some you should probably know. I mean, I just kind of went through the list on Prep Agent. Now I do, if you are really needing some study stuff, what I would tell you if you're going back to studying is I have something called,
because I've never seen ocean either.
well, there's a couple of things here. This is what I would tell you, and you are a student now, so I'll give you a discount. This is what I tell people. You've only got 3 days before the test. This is a list of words and topics from every chapter. If you can't answer these questions off the top of your head, you need to go ahead and push that test back now. Like for me, this is my list of topics and concepts that if you don't know, you are no place ready for the test. So I give people this list and then I give them the answer key.
So
That's
I
one
took the
thing.
test last in April and I missed it by 4 points. So that just like
Oof.
discouraged. Right. I was sick. I was done. I was over it. So now I'm just now starting back to
study. You've probably
yeah.
forgot a lot. The other thing you were talking about, like, is ocean, and I was just showing the other list. This is a different book I have of stuff, and I can send you the link for this.
Okay.
It's a list of acronyms because you have so many acronyms in this class,
And it
but
helps
it's
a
also
lot.
a list of synonyms.
Oh yes.
It's a list of the acts and laws, I think, which is next. No, this is on a national level. So what is common law? What's UCC? What is the Interstate Land Sales Full Disclosure Act? National laws. This is a list of testable dates and numbers, because God knows there's a ton of testable dates and numbers in this class. Ooh, it kills me. And I don't even like numbers. Your abbreviations.
Yes.
And then it ends with your math formulas. So if you're interested in that, I'll send you an email that shows you how to get both of those, and I'll make sure that you get a discount code. And I'll put it in the email to all of y'all. If you want it, you're welcome to it. But I will say this. It is about organizing your studying. Don't buy something and don't use it. Have a method to use it. So like if you're looking at these, if you come to, like, if you get 5 minutes extra of studying, and you got 5-10 minutes extra, have a kid, have a spouse, have a best friend. Hey, what is USDA? Tell me what UST stands for. Like, use it as a study, kind of like flashcards, right? These are all grouped into things different than just vocab. Have somebody open it up and say, what can you tell me about the Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990? Have them come through and say, how do you find net income? So use it as a study tool. Now, for you, missing for 4 points, what I would tell you want to do is go through something like this, where you have a list of really important vocab. Start here. Make sure that you know these things, because if you don't know these things, you're not ready for the test. Then fill in the blanks. And there's different ways to fill in the blanks, but it depends on how you learn and how you study best. So once you do all that, if you want to make a one-on-one with me, I can help people. And that's what I love doing, coming up with study plans that are specific to you, because you're right there. You were in April really close, but that was almost 6 months ago. So we got to figure out what you know, what you don't know, and help you come up with a plan for figuring that out, which is slightly different than the person who's never tested before. So, all right, guys, I know I've kept you over. Thank you. I will send you the links with all this information and how to watch this. And I really do hope it was helpful.
Thank you so much. Lastly, Candice, is it okay if I send you an email? Because I do have a specific question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Thank you so much.
No problem. Oh, go ahead, Alexis, go ahead. What's your question? You got to unmute again, Alexis.
I was just asking, are you sending the link tonight or sometime tomorrow?
Probably sometime tomorrow, because I got people coming over in the morning and my house is a hot mess. Ain't even gonna lie to y'all. It's 7 o'clock where I am. I got to clean before y'all get to see how dirty I got to clean. So it'll probably be tomorrow.
Okay.
All right.
Okay,
guys, have a great night. I will see you in the next webinar. And thank you again for letting me use your voices on YouTube. The
Thank
other
you.
YouTubers,
Thank
thank you as
you.
well.
Yes.
Night. Have a
Good
good
night.
one.
Bye.